As promised in episode 55, we're going back into Balboa Park, San Diego, California. We went and saw the Museum of Us, which is the new name, since we all know that they have changed the names to all of these buildings many times. It was originally called the California Tower. This is what they tell us, and most likely was named something before that. Because before it was called the Museum of Us, it was called the Museum of Man. And this was changed in August of 2020. So they are still changing these old world buildings' names, even to this day. And this is an attempt to make it extremely confusing for someone that is following the mainstream history to ever go all the way back and find the truth. Because once you find the original name of the building, you can then dig into the narrative. But when you throw the new name into the search box, it comes up with everything that's happened with its new name. The new history story, or his story. This building serves as the entrance to Balboa Park. It is 200 feet high with a bell that chimes every quarter hour. And this gets very interesting when we see that public access to the tower had been closed since 1935. You really can't make this stuff up. Locking the doors to the public in 1935. Because, of course, there's nothing to see here. And in 2015, they begin the process to allow this. But before I read this next part, remember, they supposedly built these entire buildings with perfection over 110 years ago in less than 24 months. And we showed this in our last episode. So here we go. The process began to allow us to all be able to look at the tower again because they wouldn't hide anything, right? So the process began in 2015, and they need to do some work on it first to make sure that it's all ready for us to see again. The work included making it wheelchair accessible. Okay, that's fine. But then there are, of course, additional things that they are going to do to the building. Architectural and engineering services to evaluate and restore, there's that word again. We know here that restoration is really destruction. This building was perfect, exactly like we have seen when we went to the Pasadena City Hall in episode 33, when it survived perfectly fine for decades. And then they randomly shut it down to make it earthquake proof. And the repair company got a golden ticket for their efforts. When Pasadena has recorded 6,943 earthquakes since 1931. So the building obviously didn't need our help. And I'm just gonna throw this in here before I forget, because this lines up with what we're saying perfectly. That everything was given back to us since 1776, including documenting the weather. So for thousands of years, we were told that no weather forecast was ever observed. Well, leave it to the 1860s. Donkey-riding cowboys that were, of course, suffering in sheds, but also had castles to get this done no problem at all. Okay, now let's continue. To evaluate and restore the highly ornamental cast stone facades and complete re-roofing and repair of the tile domes. So in my eyes and in my opinion, based on everything that we know and have seen to this point, everything that they just listed in this paragraph that they supposedly fixed up before allowing us to see it for 80 years, having it locked away from us, the public, every single one of these things that they just named were destroyed or dramatically changed to fit into the mainstream narrative. There was something in here that we were not supposed to see. It was locked away. It would have totally changed the mainstream narrative of Balboa Park, or possibly the rest of the world, with this building being the main attraction and the entrance to the park. There was surely something important inside this building, and it was definitely not built to be a museum. So we know that these buildings were constructed in less than 24 months, like we have said and shown. So this whole fix-up project, from the point of deciding that it needs to be fixed up in 2015 to the completion date of the destruction, it better have been faster than the people of 110 years ago, since the 2015 people aren't building the entire building. And we are, of course, evolving in advance. Wait, no? What is this? It took them 60 months just to destroy this place? I mean, repair? It was completed in 2020, taking them a total of 5 years to complete the project. And they finish it off with a nice gesture, saying that they, of course, preserved the tower's exterior. So nice of them. And we're just getting started today because we have the Casa del Prado Theater, also located at Balboa Park. And that one was also reconstructed several times. Welcome to episode 56 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app. I'll put the link in the description, and you can use my referral code, MLB. The app is awesome. It shows a lot of videos that are really hard to find. They've got them all in great playlists. He also has my lunch break on the homeschool section of the app, which is really cool. Thank you for that. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, Don Gaston, Christopher Arietta, The Lady Lacey Show, David and Sherry Ferguson, Edwin Johnson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Leslie Pipkins, PNR, Stephanie Nolan, The Burlesons, Suez KC, Dan Woodall, Corey Franks, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glascock, Maddie B, Tim Rack, Two Spirit, William Richard Jeffries V, Zach Bronco, PKTFnews.org, Regna Saturna, Emerald H, 3D6.space, Attila Power, Buck Suey, Dakota Dunn, D-Rob33, Eric Martinez, Ivan Apoctoli, Jesse DeLeon, Jim Bro, Kit Kat, Patriots Progeny, Todd K, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, Daniel Zid, HaggardT-shirts.com, Marie C, Roy Schoenholtz, James Alt, Dan McGee, Vince Moreno, Roz Matthews, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness, Spartan Oneg, and VKH Bonner. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Alright, so at this point, we fully understand that they have destroyed anything at this site of Balboa Park that would have hands down given the old world away to us. Any depictions, any dates, all of that. And we know from our last episode, episode 55, that they defaced a plate on the front of this totally average, very easily constructed building. We also know that they are destroying and hiding things from the public for 80 years, which we've shown today. And this isn't sketchy at all. Well, actually it is. We are also told of the buildings that still remain at Balboa Park from the exposition. Of the buildings that still remain, so we also know that they have destroyed a lot of the buildings from Balboa Park. Removed them completely from our timeline because these types of masterpieces were very easily constructed in the 18 and the 1900s. This type of construction was very bland and was a simple upgrade from their shed homes that they would go home to after building with their horses and wagons. And of course, these buildings were nothing like the incredible Kleksinski building, currently located in Chicago, that took our civilization 14 years to complete with its perfect 90-degree angles, its incredible stonework. Oh, there wasn't any stone? No? Okay. Well, then it's perfect marble. What? Wait, no marble either? No. It's a perfect box that took 14 years to build when we were all watching and real documentation was taking place. So what happened to all these buildings that they destroyed? Do you all remember when I said in episode 55 that zoos and golf courses hide buildings? They hide structures. Do you remember